Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I have a ghost story for you. Hi, my name is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman. I'm an intuitive psychic medium here in the Sugar Land area. That's just outside of Houston. Since I was a child, I've interacted with ghosts. I see them, hear them, and I even feel their energy everywhere I go. I love mostly hearing about their life. I usually have ghosts just show up at my home. I will post their ghost stories in my video series called Ghost Stories, as many as I possibly can. If you like my content, please make sure to subscribe, like, share, and even hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. That's right. So last night I went about my business like I normally do, had a homeowners association meeting, and then I required to run over to CVS and get a few items. And when I got back in my truck afterwards, I could smell something like someone had been smoking in my car. And I thought, that's really a strange thing. So I get on in the car and kind of look around, and I'm like, is anybody smoking around the vehicle or anything like that? And I'm like, no, can't see anybody. So I start up the truck and kind of get going, and I keep having this odor come, around, and I'm like, this is just so weird because no one really smokes in my car, nor neither do I. So I just thought it was really kind of bizarre, and it's one of those, eventually he showed me his face. So I was like, okay. So the ghost that I had in my truck is his name is Larry, as that's what he's going by, and he also gives me the name Lorenzo. And so he I don't think was known for smoking, but he was always like a silent smoker. Like he would go away from everybody else and he would smoke, or he would kind of not really smoke around other people. It was kind of like something that he did by himself. But I also get that he was like just a humongous kid. Although he passed away in his probably late 70s or early 80s, he was a humongous kid. Like he never really got out of his teenage years. He always had that kind of fun, jovial side to him. He always liked to play jokes on other people, and kind of like that. His attitude just never really grew up. Now, I know this because in my truck last night when I'm driving home, after he shows me who he is and kind of starts talking to me, he's literally jumping on the back seat in my truck. And so we chatted for a little bit, and he does have younger brothers and sisters. I don't think he was the oldest. If he was, it's one of those, he was one of the oldest of the older kind of group of kids that his parents had. I do feel like he lived out in the country, not really close to a town, like not, within a few minutes. It was kind of like a 30 or 45-minute drive when he was a kid. And he just always had this rebellious spirit about him. Anything that his parents wanted him to do, he wanted to do the opposite. He loved kind of like going against what they wanted, going against what, normal society would say, like at a certain age, you need to kind of grow up. Not him. He loved being a humongous kid and playing all the time. And like he showed me images of like going over a railroad track that's like raised. And so he would like go as fast as he could to jump his truck over the top of it. Just a humongous kid is the best way to put it. I do feel like he was married and he had a couple of kids, and I do feel like his kids, a couple of his kids passed away either as miscarriages or shortly after birth. They didn't live very long, and then I feel like he adopted at least one child, and it's one of those, I get a lot of apologies for this child. He was not a great dad. He was not a very supportive dad, and he would kind of like almost like make jokes to kind of correct what you were doing. If he didn't want you to do it, he would kind of like tell you a bad joke going one direction and then kind of the other. So it's kind of like I'm kind of guiding you through like being a bully, you know what I'm saying? Like almost like, you don't want to do that and this is why, and kind of like in it, not really going, let me explain to you why this is best or why this is what I think you should do. It was always this very bullying, very kind of masculine, kind of like you need to do what I want energy all the time. I do feel like he really didn't realize how much he tortured this child until he passed, and he got to kind of like see it from their perspective, from their point of view, and was like, yikes, I was really not a good dad. And I also get a lot of apologies that he was not really necessarily a good husband. I kind of get that he cheated on his wife many times, and it was kind of more to kind of keep in that jovial point of view and kind of like make like life easy, and kind of, if I don't want to be grown up and I don't want to be, like a husband just to one person, I can, kind of keep going around and that sort of thing. And I do feel like he, like I said, cheated many times, but it's also something that his child also knew, that he cheated, because the way he would talk to certain people, she could kind of feel the difference in that, kind of like in that energy, kind of like something's not right about this. One of the things that I get with his Lorenzo's energy is that he was not necessarily someone to stay long term at a job. And some of that had to do with like that rebellious teenager energy that he stayed with. Like, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be told where to go. I don't want to be told this. And so that really kind of set the tone for a lot of things of, I don't want this. I don't want this part of it. I don't want to be a grown up. I do get that he was married 3 times. And that's a really interesting energy. He was married to one woman for quite a long period of time, and then when she passed, he married someone else, but it was short term. I would say like a few months, less than 6 months is what I get, like 3 to 4 or 5 months, something like that. And then they divorced, and then probably about 10 years later, he married someone else. And I think it's really interesting that in his 3rd marriage, he treated that wife really, really well, and kind of was really in love with her. Where the first wife that he was married to for a long period of time, like 20 something years or so, he did not treat her very well. He was supportive at times, but then other times he was just kind of that rebellious teenager. I don't want to deal with any of this. You take care of it. You deal with that. You pay the bills. I don't want anything to do with that. And so it was kind of like this really strange energy with him, but he never grew up. And to me, it's almost like a sad part. Like, he could have been a great guy, but he didn't want to. And he knew, kind of like that angel on your shoulder, like, knew, like, I could be nice to this person, but I don't want to be. I also get that he really, his family, nephews, younger people in the family, like, he did not treat them very well. And so I get really the main reason why he came through was to apologize. And I think that's the really cool part about connecting to a ghost and kind of feeling their energy is when they come through with a lot of apologies. Some people just don't realize how bad they were in life until they start going through a life review, and then they're kind of like, yikes, I was not a nice person at all. And that's what I get with this person, is that he was not a nice person. He did not deal with people well, and he loved to dominate over people, and kind of like, I'm going to make you conform. And like I said, even with his daughter, like, I'm going to make fun of you or kind of bully you which direction I want you to go into. But I do feel like that he did that with many other people as well, or as many people as he could. Let's see. I do get him connected to horses in some way, and I do feel like he rode horses. I also feel like he was almost afraid of them at the same time, because his energy was so bad at times that the horses would kind of like leave him and get out of his face. And so that was something that he kind of knew, that like, my energy is not good, or how I deal with other people is not that great, because of the way the horses reacted to him. Most animals did not care for him at all. But I also get that there's a lot of apologies to his like mom and dad, to his brothers and sisters and other family members, because he realizes like how bad he really treated them. And I think that's a good way of just kind of putting it out there, like, I could have been a better person, but I knew I wasn't. And I don't think he really had desires in this life to kind of be the person he could be, or kind of strive to be the best person he could. I get that there's a lot of family on the other side with him that has passed, but there are still family members on this side that he could connect to and apologize to. So hopefully this video will find a couple of those people around him that are able to kind of like hear his apology and kind of get back to that. I do feel one of the interesting things is that he's from Texas. I feel like further South Texas than where I am at in Houston area. But I do feel like he was born and raised and kind of passed away in Texas. So I thank you so much and kind of thank you for listening to Lorenzo's story. And if you connect with Lorenzo, please let me know. He may be a family member or a person in your family. So hopefully we will be able to gift you a message from Lorenzo. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.